When I am elected president, I will make it a top priority to bring down costs and increase economic security for all Americans.
Let's go. See, I think this is a good point, though. What does she offer? Forget about their plans. Just forget about what they say. Forget about policy. Let's just take it purely as their life experience. So Kamala Harris knows what it's like to work at McDonald's. Kamala Harris knows what it's like to have existed in a family that was renting and couldn't afford to buy a home. She knows what it's like to buy their first home. She knows what it's like to have a summer job. She's been a working person. She also went to college, and then she eventually got a law degree. She eventually became a prosecutor. She eventually ran for office, but she's also worked at a McDonald's and been in a family that needed to rent because they didn't have any money. Okay, now if you look at Donald Trump has never worked a job, ever. He's never had a job. He got out of college with not even that good of grades. He got into college he probably shouldn't have gotten into, that he got into because of his dad. Then he got out and he immediately was made the president of his dad's business. He got out of college, and before ever working a job, he got to be the president of a company. He's never worked. He's never worked at McDonald's or Baskin Robbins or whatever. He's never walked into a grocery store and had to choose between, ramen or chicken breast. You know what I'm saying? He's never even walked into a grocery store, probably, unless he saw some woman in there that he was trying to lure into his limo and trying to bang her or trying to grab her by the goods. Seriously, the guy doesn't have any experience. What does he have experience at? He got $500 million from his dad and he went bankrupt 6 times. He's had 4,000 lawsuits of people that did work for him that he refused to pay. And he would just bury them in legal fees until they gave up or settled on pennies on the dollar. So there's very different experiences. I just don't think a lot of Donald Trump's experience actually applies to most of the people in America. Many more of us have worked McDonald's to get extra money than have gotten $500 million from our dads. So obviously, a president who has worked at McDonald's is gonna maybe understand our position and what we go through a lot more. The dude who inherited $500 mil, he does not understand the way I grew up. He does not understand.
So listen, this election, I do strongly believe, is about 2 very different visions for our nation. One, ours, focused on the future, and the other, focused on the past.
It's true. Shit ain't free.
We see that contrast clearly in many ways, including when it comes to how we think about the economy. So our country has come a long way since President Biden and I took office. At that time, we sadly remember the millions of Americans that were out of work. We were facing one of the worst economic crises in modern history.
Dude, I mean, I think we are really, really lucky that we didn't get jacked by a recession. How we avoided a major recession coming out of the pandemic is miraculous. Considering how much shit was shut down and considering how bungled and how there was no leadership from Trump whatsoever, we really lucked out, bro. We did. For our stock market to rebound the way it has, we dodged some serious bullets. Serious bullets. They made great moves. And it's weird, too, that, Republicans, they don't want to talk about that at all.
Today, by virtually every measure, our economy is the strongest in the world.
It is. She's not wrong there. We are the strongest in the world.
We're getting created 16 million new jobs. We've made historic investments in infrastructure, in chips manufacturing, in clean energy. And new numbers this week alone show that inflation is down under 3%.
That's good. Dude, I've I've been surviving fine since the pandemic,
As President
right?
of the United States,
I have.
it will be my intention to build on the foundation of this progress. Still, we know that many Americans don't yet feel that progress in their daily lives.
That's true.
Costs are still too high. And on a deeper level, for too many people, no matter how much they work, it feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. As president, I will be laser focused on creating opportunities for the middle class that advance their economic security, stability, and dignity. Together, we will build what I call an opportunity economy.
Let's go. Let's go.
An opportunity economy. An economy where everyone can compete and have a real chance to succeed. Everyone, regardless of who they are or where they start.
See, I like that idea, right? I like that idea of everybody having an opportunity to compete and participate. I do. That's part of the equity notion, is the fact that you shouldn't need to be a Trump or a Bezos kid in order to compete. And we do need more competition. See, this is the thing that makes me mad about all the discussions about capitalism, is you get on Twitter and these armchair, like, financial quarterbacks are always talking about, oh, that's communism. You can't interrupt the free market, free market, free market. But it's like, yo, there is no free market in America, bro. Like, go try to start a new hardware company now. Try to start a grocery corporation now. Try to start a soda company now. You cannot. The whole thing is just, it's dirty, bro. We don't even have competition anymore. You go to the grocery store, there's no competition. Everything in that store is owned by like 5 to 10 companies, period. And again, this is important. I think we need to have a hard look in America and in the American social fabric about the difference between earning money and building wealth, because there's a huge difference. You can be making $100,000 a year and living in an apartment in a major city. You're earning great money, but you're not building any wealth. It's really about property. Everybody should own property. That's really the goal. I know they're going to call that communism, but that's the goal, man.
And let's talk about the cost of housing.
Yeah. Dude, let's talk about corporations not buying housing.
Now, the housing market can be complicated, but look, I'm not new to this issue. As State Attorney General, I drafted and helped pass a homeowner bill of rights, one of the first in America. And during the foreclosure crisis, I took on the big banks for predatory lending with many of my colleagues, including Roy Cooper, and won $20 billion for California families when I was Attorney General.
Let's go.
So I know how to fight for people who are being exploited in the housing market. And I know what home ownership means. It's more than a financial transaction. It's so much more than that. It's more than a house. Home ownership and what that means, it's a symbol of the pride that comes with hard work. It's financial security. It represents what you will be able to do for your children. And sadly, right now, it is out of reach for far too many American families. There's a serious housing shortage. In many places, it's too difficult to build, and it's driving prices up. As president, I will work in partnership with industry to build the housing we need, both to rent and to buy. We will take down barriers and cut red tape, including at the state and local levels.
Let's go. Cut that red tape, baby. Cut the tape.
And by the end of my first term, we will end America's housing shortage by building 3 million new homes and rentals that are affordable for the middle class.
Let's go. All right. Dude, that's a good goal. 3 million homes.
Together. We will do that together. And we will make sure those homes actually go to working and middle class Americans, not just investors.
See, this is huge what they're talking about too. Like, I feel like we need some type of ownership cap, guys. I really do. When it comes to housing, like, you know, there's a couple industries. There's housing, there's food, there's healthcare. We need caps on those because those are absolutely necessary services that everybody needs. They are necessary services. So we need some type of cap. People shouldn't be able to buy 1,000 apartments. You know, if one corporation owns 50% of the houses in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, they own the market in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They can keep jacking up that price. And again, it goes to the restricting supply. So what happens when the corporation goes into Milwaukee and they buy 50% of the houses there, but they only rent out 25% of the ones they bought? You know what happens? Milwaukee's housing market gets when huge hedge funds buy a bunch of houses. They're driving up the value of everything, and they have so much money and they're able to buy so much that they can literally just manipulate and toy with the markets over and over and over again. But yes, you got to have some type of cap. This is important. It's the investor class are like what's everything up, bro.
Do that together.
There's another thing I want to point out, though. I know it's minuscule, but I think it's very important because she said even with their housing, they're going to build 3 million units. But what does she do? She says, we're going to do that together. She's not a demagogue. She wasn't sent here by Jesus Christ with a fake bullet, you know, on her Kotex right ear. You know what I'm saying? She's not pretending she was sent by God to heal the world and make you be able to walk across your pool without getting wet, because she's not a lying, phony piece of shit. She wants to make this country better together. And we need to all be a part of this together.
And we will make sure those homes actually go to working and middle class Americans.
Thank you. And not get bought by a hedge fund.
Not just investors. Because, you know, some corporate landlords, some of them buy dozens, if not hundreds of houses and apartments. Then they turn them around and rent them out at extremely high prices. And it can make it impossible then for regular people to be able to buy or even rent a home. Some corporate landlords collude with each other to set artificially high rental prices.
They were doing this with an app. People were using an app. I can't remember the name of the app, but there was an app in hot housing markets where the app was helping landlords collude and set like rental floors to jack up the prices.
Often using algorithms in price-fixing software.
Yeah, so
to do it.
Shitty, dude.
It's anti-competitive and it drives up costs. I will fight for a law that cracks down on these practices.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go, Kamala! Let's go. Let's make it happen.
We also know that as the price of housing has gone up, the size of down payments have gone up as well. Even if aspiring homeowners save for years, it often still is not enough. So in addition...
And it sucks too, because if you're barely making enough money to live, how the hell are you saving up, bro? You know what I'm saying?
While we work on the housing shortage. Yeah. My administration will provide first-time home buyers with $25,000 to help with the down payment on a new home.
Dude, That should be a no-brainer. Yeah, and you want to encourage people to be able to make that step. Even outside of affordability, it's like access to the loans, access to the down payment. We want a healthy economy for the humanitarian edge, a healthy life of abundance of people being able to actually build wealth would be to get everybody into the ownership class in some small way.
And ensure that America continues to define the future and lead the world.
You know what I love? I love these young girls back here like snapping photos, because you got to think about this, guys. And this goes beyond just economic policy and shit, but you got to think of what's going on right here. It seriously looks like a black woman from Oakland is going to be the president of the United States of America. And this is a game changer for all of these girls, whether they're white, black, brown, whatever. Every girl that's sitting here that is like 15, 13, 12, they're like realizing, holy shit, we could do that too. This is monumental. I mean, we're still at the point where she's got to be perfect. She's got to, what's her policy? Oh, she's not being clear. Oh, she's dodging the interview. Donald Trump gets to stand up there and basically look at the camera and say, "Hi, America, I'm a goddamn moron, and I don't know what the I'm talking about, but I'm Donald Trump, so I should be president." She's got to be perfect. She's got to be impeccable, but she's still making it happen. It'll be nice when there's an equal microscope, when people look and say, "God damn, dude, Donald Trump's a moron, bro. There's no way we can vote for this guy. We can't even take him seriously. He's literally talking about a shark and a battery and what? An army tank? Like, the is wrong with this guy, dude? This guy needs to be washing cars." But you cannot overstate the impact of her being president that goes beyond the price of gas. This is the thing that we don't look at. There's people in the middle who are just like, "Oh, I want my gas to be $2.50. But it's like, bro, dude, goddamn, the price of gas. Let's create a world that gets a generation of strong, powerful women. But you see what I'm saying? Like the impact of her, in addition to clean energy and in addition to fighting for civil rights, the impact of her winning the presidency will be generations deep of more powerful women, more strong women leaders going out into the world and becoming powerful versions of themselves and continuing to change the world. We have so much more at stake than just the goddamn price of a gallon of gas. And if you're only thinking about the price of a gallon of gas, you are a But that's the point. The point is she's going to have a very far-reaching impact. Very far-reaching. We're at a precipice, baby. This is getting good. Let's go.